Hey everybody, it is Tami LaTrell here with another edition of The Writer's Block. All of my creators out there, I have something very special for you today. We are joined by a dear friend of mine, Mrs. Carolyn Richardson. She is joining us today. She is a music supervisor. She has been in the licensing industry for years. But before I go into detail, let me just embellish on how grateful I am to have you, not only as my friend, but definitely as another woman in the music industry as well as the media industry. She has been such a trailblazer. We're both from H-Town. She's in LA doing her thing. How you doing, sweetheart?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation. I mean, we've been on different sides of the industry, and it's been great to see your growth, and now for us to share it to help some other people get to where they need to be is really cool.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And you know what? You're so right. Like, just to see that we're on different sides and being able to help is always a big thing because, a lot of us didn't have the help, and, our experiences really came from real life, on the job training. So, but before we get started, I'm going to run down your professional bio, because you are official. Okay. So Carolyn is the CEO of musicforscenes.com. She has over 15 years of experience in the music industry, including 10 years of music supervision, licensing, administration, and clearance. She has worked for Live Nation, Sony Music, and CBS Studios, as well as countless independent production companies. She is also a mentor of mine, an artist consultant who helps independent creatives realize their vision and build their careers in music and scenes. She is also a member of the Guild of Music Supervisors and the Television Academy. Everybody say hey to Carolyn. Woo! And the applause.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So now that we got all of that out the way, I am going to take this very basic for those who may not know. I'm going to ask some questions as if I'm a novice and I'm not familiar with what you do. So why don't you explain to us what music licensing is?
Okay, so I tend to explain it in terms of houses. Because everybody has somewhere they need to live. And so songs have different places where they live. And so music licensing is helping the people who own the houses, the songs, helping them be able to either sell or lease or let someone use or Airbnb their song in different spaces. So music licensing is basically that. I am technically a real estate agent for songs.
Okay. That's a great analogy to it. Like, I can actually see it. Like, I understand it in those terms. Okay, cool. So, with that being said, you're talking about maybe me having a song if I'm an independent artist or if I'm a major artist, and you would actually take that song and put it in a place that it would make sense in another avenue, another medium,
Right.
such as film, television. Give me some background on where those mediums are, what those mediums are.
Well, we have everything is online now these days. So in addition to film and TV, now we have digital media, we have paid streaming, we have free streaming, we have music at venues. And technically we don't license those songs, but there's a licensing element to them. Some venues actually pay so that they can use music there. So I kind of help make sure everybody has their stuff together to receive income from all of these different avenues.
Awesome. So with that being said, I want to get my song licensed. I'm an artist. I have great songs. These are the questions that I get asked. What do I need to do, or what would I need to do? Can I just send you my song and then you just put it in? Because I write everything. So whatever commercial genre, whatever, what do I need to do to be prepared? Or can I just send you my song? How would that work?
I would say get your house in order.
Oh.
In order. Make sure that myself as a real estate agent, not only do I know what your houses are, but I know not only what they sound like, but who owns them. And kind of all the details that I need to be able to sell it or lease it. So from a licensing standpoint, I come from a very corporate background from a music supervision side. There are other people who didn't come from a corporate background, but I'm very by the book. So I need to make sure that everybody knows that you own a house, and PROs help you get all your songs in order so that you can say, this is my song, this is the name of it, these are all the people associated with it, and that then I can search a database or their repertoire in each PRO, and I can see these are all the songs that she owns, and these are the other people. And so these are the things, this is basically the listing of your house in a place where it makes sense to me, where I know I can sell it because all the people have kind of agreed on splits and agreed on who owns what. So that's very important to me. You have to first be a part of a PRO, and you have to have registered your song in that space. Copyright is a whole nother issue. That's something that you own, and you do need to register for that so that you can fight for your right to own it. But you have to register it because otherwise I don't know what part of your house, your song is yours and which one isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember, everyone, like I always tell you, to make sure that you are signed up with the PRO if you have the intention or plan on trying to get your songs licensed with a music supervisor. So you need to decide if you're going to join ASCAP or BMI or CSAC. But after you do that, then you have what you would call a publishing house, where all of your songs are housed in there, and everyone that you've actually co-written with, who've produced it, you've maybe have written it, all of that information is already stored. So that saves time for you, correct?
Yes, it saves me a lot of time, and it also saves me a lot of trouble. A lot of times things are in dispute. I mean, even major artists have things that are in dispute, and usually it's newer songs, and so they're not registered. They're not easily found in ASCAP or BMI, and so we literally are calling, knowing who wrote the songs, because Billboard is great at providing that song index every month for anything that's on the chart. So we know who owns them, but we'll get to calling around to these publishers, and they'll say, oh, we haven't settled on splits, or we haven't settled on this and that. And that's why it's not in ASCAP or BMI, because they haven't finished working that out. I can't license that song. If we don't know who owns it, I can't get anybody paid for it. So everything stalls. And so even major artists go through times where they could have made $10,000 or $20,000, but because they're still fighting over who owns a house, we can't license that song. Wow. So it's very important, even on a smaller level, that you get your stuff together, know who you're working with, and get into a routine of agreeing on splits. As soon as songs are ready, mixed and mastered, get on the same page, get the song registered so you can actually make money off of it.
Wow. I'm so happy that you brought the comparison. You presented the comparison of, what major artists compared to independent artists have to go through. Like major artists, if they don't have their stuff together, if there can be a dispute too, and you just have to move on. You're not going to waste time because you're on a deadline too, I would assume.
I'm on a deadline, but I mean, there are legal issues. If I put a song that's not settled on, one of those people who haven't settled on the ownership can come back and say I owe them more money than I do. They have to. Everyone has to agree. If you own a house, you can't sell a house without the other people who own it. And so, if somebody still is in dispute, then we can't do anything with that song at all. You can't even receive money. Can you imagine that? That's an inside joke, everybody. But you will receive no money, no matter how much money is being generated. You will receive nothing while things are in dispute, and it's a really sad thing, especially for independent artists who go in and ghostwrite or go in and write songs with these major artists, and then they fight over who owns it, and everybody's waiting for money. So,
wow. So I'm an independent artist, or maybe I'm a major artist, and I know that I need to have my splits in order. I need to also be with the PRO.
Yes.
Copyright is a totally different thing, but you definitely need to have that taken care of as well.
Yes.
Now I'm ready to pitch. I have a relationship, or I know someone who is a music supervisor, or I have a manager who's working with a music supervisor, and they would like to use, my song, or they're interested rather in using the song for a specific movie, film, commercial, digital platform.
Right.
What do I do now?
Okay, so I'm going to give a kind of a roundabout way. Again, I'm trying to stick to the real estate thing because everybody understands homes. So sometimes you only need a room of a home, or you only need a little bit of something. So I would say if you're licensing your music out for film or television, we need to have different versions of that song. We need to not only have the full version with all the bells and whistles, but we also need a drum and bass. We need an instrumental only. Sometimes we need vocals only. There's different things that help us as editors, but also as music supervisors, use that song in a variety of ways. Because let's say your song is amazing, but we want to use it under a scene that has dialogue. I want to have all those versions so that I can play with it, and we can use it where it needs to be singing loud, and then we can use it where it's just subtle music, underbed music. So I would say if your goal is to pitch stuff for film and TV, or for scenes, for any type of scene, you need to have different versions of your song, and you need to have them all mastered. Each individual version needs to be mastered and mixed.
So that's tracked out, everybody, individual tracks.
Mm-hmm. And you need to have it in a way that's easy for more than one person to download. So I always tell people, other people work on SoundCloud and they're fine with Gmail, but data becomes a problem when you deal with multiple projects, such as the way I do. So I ask people to either use SongSpace or Source Audio or other places where they literally can send me a link. They can send me a playlist of stuff that applies to my show, my project, and they literally can send me a link that I can listen. I can listen to the songs, stream them out, and then I can download them if I need them. And I can even send them notes and that. So you have to find a way to make it so that I can easily listen to the song, to download it, but also these SongSpace and Source Audio also have where you can put all your splits and everything in. Mm-hmm. I can reply to you immediately about a specific song. I can say, I love it here at 10. I can literally put indicators in Source Audio where I like the song to start for my editor. So find a way that you make it easier for me to access your house. If I got to drive 4 hours to get there, I got to wait for somebody to bring me the key. You know what I mean?
It's too much.
It's too much. So I'm just going to wait for the person who has an Airbnb, a website, everything. I can see everything in every room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's important to make sure your property is easily accessible.
Right. So, and I've worked on SongSpace. Actually, you told me about that a while ago, and I know how efficient that program is. Once I created my account, I was able to upload songs, add my splits information, do chats with the people who are part of that folder. I mean, it was completely seamless. So that's great.
That's what we're looking for, seamless.
Right. So also with that, what were we going to say?
Yeah, no, that was it.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So I have that, and I have information on, how to get my song broken down. So I'm going to get with my engineer, and he's going to track out all of the song, the instrumental. He's also going to give me the acapella. He's also going to break up the instruments that are in that instrumental into all different tracks. And then I'm going to upload them to SongSpace, and I'm going to send you the actual link and say, hi, Carolyn, I got your information from Tami LaTrell. I saw the video. It was really fantastic. And I heard that you had some opportunities. I just wanted to submit my material. I can write everything. So what do I need to do now? And then what happens after that?
So for me, everything is project-based from the standpoint of my abilities.
Okay.
So what that means is I don't need all music. I don't need someone who writes everything. I need someone who knows enough about my show to only send me things that may go in my show. If I have a show about married people and it's mostly about love and relationships and family, and somebody sends me a twerking song, I know that they know nothing about the show that I'm working on, and that's more of a turnoff than if that was like the most popping song that I've ever heard that makes me want to twerk. Because I'm probably just going to say, this person just wants me to listen to their music. They're not thinking about creating a relationship with me. When you create a relationship with someone, we talk about friendship, you think about, what is this person like? You know what I mean? And not to get too personal, but from a business standpoint, I want to know that you put in some kind of work to understand the projects I'm working on and to go through your catalog and only send me things that may fit for my project. If you don't take the time to do that, then I know you're not really creating a relationship. You're just trying to get your music out there to everyone. And nothing's wrong with that. You know, sometimes that works, but it doesn't create the relationship, and it really is a turnoff. Because ultimately, you want to just work with people you can continually work with. For me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Wow. And I could have one songwriter who only writes blues music, like that's all they do. But every time I get any type of project that could fit, because they're so reliable and I know exactly what they do, that's easier for me to work with that person than the person who says, I have 50,000 songs and I write everything and I can help you.
Yeah.
Listen, I cannot listen to 50,000 songs, I promise you. So I need to know that you know what I'm doing so we can work together and try to get somewhere. So.
Absolutely. And that was broken down so well. I mean, it kind of gives you a glimpse into the mind of a music supervisor on a day-to-day. You guys are specifically working on particular projects. You have certain needs, and anything outside of that is just fluff. It's just a waste of time.
It is. I mean, some things are different, you know. Some people work on dramas where, you know, there could be source music coming out of a car that has nothing to do with the theme of the show. So I'm not saying that sometimes there aren't little things that happen, but generally you kind of know the feel of each show, or you can tell by watching one or two episodes, like really quick. You can watch one or two episodes of whatever you're pitching, and you will be able to get the basic tone of the show. And that also gives you fuel to have a conversation with someone. If you watch the last two episodes and you can come to a music supervisor and say, oh my God, I love that scene about ... Their interest is piqued because they know that you've done your research, but also that you've noticed the music, which is important, because, you know, we like to feel appreciated as well. Right. So start that conversation you know, in a way it is like dating. You have to say, okay, how can I work with this person? What can I do to appeal to this person? And what do they need? And then maybe they can get me what I need. Right. That's kind of how it works.
Wow. Okay. So making sure you do your research, and also making sure that you know enough about the projects that the music supervisor is working on to where you're able to craft whatever material you're sending to fit that particular need. And that comes through research. That's the only way you can know that. So guys, we do not want to send Carolyn, or any music supervisor for that matter, just random songs and random emails. Okay. You need to do your research on what they're working on, and what they actually need, so that time can be efficient.
Another thing you can do in terms of strategy, if you're just trying to create the relationship and not seeking to pitch for a specific project, is to theme your pitches. So you can say songs for a couple, you know, a couple's relationship. You can say songs for club scenes. You can say songs for, you know, an argument, you know, or drama. So there's ways you can do that even when you don't know what the music supervisor is working on. But it's important to mention at least the emotion or the feeling that your songs are supposed to evoke, because that's our job as music supervisors, for us to help the audience feel the scene where dialogue and the visual can't do it. Music helps you connect a feeling to a place, right? You can go into any church and the first thing you can think about is the music, because that's what impacted you emotionally. It's the same, you know what I mean? You go to school, you think about the little theme song for the school. Like, so that's what we're trying to do.
So let's just play a game really quickly, because I know we're running out of time, but I'm just having so much fun.
I know, we're gonna have to do a part 2.
I know. So let's talk about, let's think of a show, and you know, you were talking about evoking emotion.
Yes.
Okay, so name a show, and then also give an example of the type of music that you would want to receive for that particular show, just because of the type of show it is.
Yes. Okay, so I will say I love Greenleaf. Greenleaf is music supervised by Angela Jolivet. She's an awesome music supervisor. She has done her job. Okay,
Love
she's
Greenleaf.
doing on stage performances. She's doing scenes that are dramatic. She's doing her thing. So I'm gonna call her out and say that's not my show, but what she's able to do, if you think about that show, Greenleaf is very specific. It's dealing with people in the church who are going through dramatic situations, but also still trying to love God and figure out where they fit in this Christianity that they hold so dear. So you already know there's going to be some dramatic music. There's going to be some uplifting, inspiring music, and there's going to be some specifically gospel or, music that's specifically talking about God. That's going to be in there. Like as soon as you read a show synopsis, you should kind of know that. But like I said, always watch 1 or 2 episodes to make sure. There's also a show called Narcos. Do you watch Narcos?
Yes.
Okay, so if you watch that show, the whole show is like Colombian music and like really songs that
yes, so well.
Yes. So you can't, in your head, you may read and say, okay, it's about drugs or whatever. I'm going to sing like some rap, some hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You didn't watch the show, did you?
Wow.
So you have to watch the show in addition to read the synopsis and see what is the music supervisor trying to do. How are they trying to frame the characters with music? And you can even pick a character and say, this is who I'm picking. This is a character I like. What music is always around when they are in a scene?
Right.
And in that way, you can, again, start that conversation. Music for this character. You know what I mean? And in that way, again, you help us kind of look and see, oh, this person really, really is into what we're doing.
Gotcha. I mean, I've learned so much from Carolyn. Girl, you have just like opened me up to a whole nother world because, I've had songs licensed and everything too, but I think, just having that one-on-one chat that we had a couple of days ago, I think maybe sometimes last week before we started airing this, it kind of really gave me an opportunity to see just how much you guys, the effort that you put into picking the right songs for the right scenes, for the right moments, and how that ultimately creates the bigger picture, which is what we see at the end of the day when we're watching the show. We have no idea just how much detail goes into making sure that the right songs fit the right scenes, So you just broke it down so effortlessly, and I really have enjoyed just learning all about the licensing side.
Oh, thank you.
So we are going to do a part 2. We're going to reschedule, maybe do something, after we kind of get some feedback, because I want to see what other questions our creators that are following my page have. And then that way we can kind of craft it and maybe like do a Q&A series. I think that would be really great. So everybody, after you finish watching this video, I want you to leave comments below the video with your questions, any inquiries that you may have, concerns that you may have that we didn't answer today, which I thought we were pretty thorough, but there's always room to be to ask more questions. And then Carolyn, I want you to let me know, what do you think the proper channel is for people to be able to contact you? Do you have an email address? Would you rather them go, how would you like that to happen? Because I want to make sure we're prepped to send you quality material based on what your need is, and we're not just bombarding you just because we saw you on YouTube.
Yeah, I would say just using the contact form on my website.
Okay.
music4scenes.com. We'll put it in the chat. But yeah, just send me an email through my website. That's fine. And then you can also read about the services that I offer and what I don't offer. And we can just go from there.
Okay. Now, is there a place where they can actually attach on your website as well? Or are they just initially sending a contact and then you'll reply back with them?
You're sending an email. Again, you should have a place where all your songs live that I can link to. I don't want an attachment or anything. So hopefully you can send me your source audio channel. You can send me your Songspace link. You can send me your website, a link to your website, and say, hey, check out all the songs I have for this genre or whatever. I should be able to search your catalog easily by genre, by theme, by emotion, and those types of things. It will take a lot of time to do that, but that's something that you have to prioritize if your business is trying to make music off of licenses.
Awesome. Well, look, guys, we have given you a plethora of information. So it's time to do your research. It's time to get your accounts created on Songspace or wherever you're going to have your music living. Get your house in order before you reach out to Carolyn. Thank you so much again for coming and being a part of this series. Yeah. And is there anything else that we missed that you want to mention?
I would just say follow your passion. Don't try to be someone you're not. We can tell what's authentic and we can tell what's not.
Wow.
Don't try to send us hip hop if your real thing is R&B. If you're a church kid, don't try to send us brunch. Like, you can tell that the emotion isn't really there, and you need to be authentic. I need to be able to feel you in order to put a song that's supposed to help other people feel. So that's really important too. For me at least, I want to hear songs that will make me cry or will make me think or will make me challenge the way I think about something. That's really important. That's what we're using music for. So that's what I would say. I mean, even down to the musicians, don't bring in a musician who's not motivated and not passionate about what they do, because I can hear that.
Wow. Wow, duly noted. Well, guys, look, we're going to sign off. Thank you for watching this edition of The Writer's Block featuring Carolyn Richardson, music supervisor extraordinaire. And yeah, we'll be back soon because we definitely want to do a Q&A for those who may have questions. So don't forget, subscribe to my channel and also leave your questions below. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye, creators.
Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you.